Good day to all. Good day to all. This is Nurturing of Our Humanity. This is another one of those Wednesday live things. I'm going to kind of go off my normal track today. My normal track is no hot topics, nothing that's really going on in the news. I have plenty of my own content to create. I do not chase that style at all. I'm going to make an exception today. There's a lot of things echoing in not only major news, but in local news in my area. And that's what motivated this talk today. Let's start with the thumbnail. The thumbnail. What the world, U.S., needs now is a good old alien invasion to bring us together. You know, I saved that meme maybe about 2 weeks ago. It's amazing how it's just coming to focus right now. But I'm here for that. Let's talk about the title of the video, okay? The title of the video is An Ugly Theory is Now Being Put to the Test. So the question is, what is that theory? That's what I'm here to talk about. Before I give the theory, let me give you a recent quote that I've been turned on to. That wasn't a new one, but that's just really stuck with me because of the way it was introduced to me, okay? Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create easier times. And then it loops back around and it continues to loop. It's an infinity loop. But it gives the gist of what I'm going to speak on right now. What is that gist? That gist is that when things are easy, we get weaker. I've literally talked about this in other videos in different ways, from hormesis to you name it. I've really danced on this, but we're going to cut into this because the topic that's going on right now is there was recently, well, let's start with the godfather of this chapter of this is Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Okay. From that came a lot of West Coast unity, a lot of joy, a lot of spotlight, a beautiful concert, a pop out, if you would say, and no violence is surrounding that. It's a beautiful moment for the West Coast. It's been a beautiful moment and possibly a highlight in this year, definitely. It's like Kevin Hart's Shannon Sharp interview kicked it off, and then it just went to like Not Like Us, and it just seems like that's what the year's been. But the wake, that was the ship coming through. Behind the ship is the wake that comes off of it. And off that wake has come recently a Pyru piece, Peace Amongst Bloods, especially in general in the Compton area. And then within a few days of that, and the aftershocks of that going out, a Crip peace meeting held at a church happened. These are all beautiful events. In fact, these events are beyond what I was able to visualize and scope. I didn't see how this would happen. I'm not even gonna lie, and act like I knew. I've been feeling the tremors of this coming, but I just didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know that Kendrick Lamar song was going. I had no idea the link of all this stuff. But in light of that, now there's pushback because any good thing, everything kind of uses contrast to stand out. Okay, and everybody's not down with peace. Some people are down with mayhem and chaos. Period. And it's going to stay that way. And there's going to be some tough decisions that people are going to have to make. Men are going to have to make. Gangsters are going to have to make uh, to separate themselves, to give contrast from the good to the bad or the good to the evil, if there is really good momentum in this. Disclaimer, I'm speaking from someone who's never been put on a gang, quoted on. I got friends, homies, all that good stuff. I'm trying to stay in my lane and not really make a problem outside of my pay grade, which is L7 square. Okay. But I am a human. I am a man, and I have a personality and an opinion like anybody else. So I want to start this video or get in the beginning of my bullet points. I want to start with the answer that I see. Okay. This is a little different. Usually you kind of drum roll to the end and then you boom, my answer at the end. But this one, no, I'm not going to do that. This is really serious, and some of these topics are going to get ugly and deep. And I want to have already started off with what I believe is kind of the high point of this, the contrast. Why do I say that? Because evil or negativity or bad etches out instant karma or payment for the act immediately. What's lacking is, if you give up all of that instant gratitude, whatever you want to call it, fame, whatever it is, if you give up that, what are you coming over to? What are you leaving that to become a part of? What's the shining light, the finish line, the confetti, the good thing about not being wicked or something like that? Well, that's what we have to spend more time etching out. And that just means living in your truth. We need to start becoming the beauty that we keep threatening that there is, or else it's just a bunch of hot air and talk, right? All right, let's start digging down this list a little bit. And I hope I explain myself well, and I hope this sits well, and I hope this creates some thought. But I'm going to start with the unbiased enemy. Thumbnail kind of points that a little bit. Good old alien invasion. I'm gonna just kind of leave that there. But an unbiased enemy. And let me keep going because I don't want to give it away there, because the next thumbnail is jailhouse unity. Now, what am I pointing at there? This is going into, I'm going to speak to my Black folk a little bit here, is the fact that once in prison and faced with a larger organized enemy, our personal problems shrink. They get smaller because we have a bigger foe that unified hates us equally. Don't care if you with the red team or the blue team, they hate the skin, because we're not even going to talk about how simple-minded racism and stuff is, but most people ain't too much deeper than just what they see skin deep. They don't know how to talk to someone and know that that's a special soul right there. A lot of just don't know the magic of words, the power of conversation. But not to judge, just to give my opinion, is that when put up against a great foe, petty differences just pale in comparison and they just fall to the wayside. And there's lots of stories of any male that has gone to the real penitentiary, the real jail, or whatever you want to call it, and has eaten, lived with, been protected by, uh, looked out for people who on the streets are their enemies, sworn enemies. But once you go in there, you get baptized in a new belief that, damn, my enemies ain't so different than me, and some of them are actually cool. We need that feeling to grow. Let's keep rolling down the list. Civilian wars. Well, I think we're literally there now. I'm starting to see stuff about uh, apartments and housing areas being taken over by immigrants, illegal. And that's just an attack on hopefully something bigger than all the stupid stuff that we keep finding to be mad at each other about. And maybe we can find something to unify behind. You would hope that people are wise enough to just unify because there's a chance for better and there's a hope for better and there's a vision for it and imagination and room for it. But I think it really requires something horrible to happen to make people go, oh, wait a minute, you know. So I'm sorry if I can't take the disgust off my face, but this is really personally kind of a yuck subject for me. But I just want to get through this because this is on my heart. And that's what I do with the Wednesdays is I just get kind of right to what's on my mind, you know? So gangs, gang military. If we really organized as a people, my folks should know who I'm speaking to. But if we truly organized as a people, gangs are already violent groups that are ready to go do damage. Like the military is in place if we have to think outside of the system. It's literally in place. We just need to, like a good person recycling, you got to learn how to use all of your resources. And I just think there's just too much of a resource there. Um, Black unity. Um, it would be amazing if this brings this about. We have a lot of hurdles to deal with. This will be the last thing I speak to on the gang side of it. Um, because I'm not qualified to speak on gangs. I know of them. I know members of both sides and things like that. I speak with them, but I speak with them as men. I don't speak with them as uh, I'm not a participant. But but what I want to say is that it would be beautiful if we could pull this thing together and stop being our own worst enemy because we have plenties of other enemies to worry about. And that's just me speaking on the black tip. Um, you know, we need to get smarter. My hope is that these times are truly hard enough that this is a low and we're on our way up and it's going to get better from here. Now, let me speak to my heart in nurturing of our humanity. I've been speaking from a lot of African American perspective on stuff or inner city perspective on stuff, but on a bigger page, on a bigger perspective, I would love for my blacks to be together because we can't broker peace on a bigger scale until we have our own stuff together, for lack of a better way to say it. Um, so really peace amongst all races is going to really start with peace within those races, and then those races being able to come to the table as a whole, not coming as hundreds of different factions that don't even get along with each. Like, it's just too far from possible. I hope that we unify, and I hope that unity is real, and I hope we just rebirth love for our fellow brother. That would be beautiful. How can we live at peace with all the world's secrets online? If I was able to put my finger on it, the internet is the greatest disruptor ever in history. More information and secrets and dirt has never been scooped out. And look how messy we are with all this power at our fingertips. Now we can all become our own TV station, radio station, you name it. And we just don't know how to act with none of this stuff. I had higher aspirations for my people, you know. But, you know, if your attention span is drawn to negativity and that's the only thing you like and click on and pay attention to, I don't know what the cure for that is. But I think I'm going to stop on that. Thank you for checking out this video, for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. You know, come on, y'all. Like, share it with somebody. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't care if this is 100 years in the future. Subscribe to this thing and like this thing. All right. Keep it moving. All right. Let's stay positive. But hopefully by then we're living in a true utopia. That's what I'm hoping for. I want the world to be utopia. And I think I just tell you, I'm like Team Thanos. What's happening on our southern border? On our southern border, what's happening is the opposite of the finger snap. With that, I bid y'all good night till next Wednesday. It's Nurturing Our Humanity. This is G, signing off.